Hey, I'm Kieran Harris at Feel Good Golf Academy, and today I'm going to tell you that you're all better putters than you think you are, and it comes down a little bit to our expectations. So I play with a lot of players. I play with a lot of my students. I play with a lot of recreational golfers, and I see them hit putts and they go, man, didn't get it inside the 3-foot circle. Ever heard that before? I don't know who came up with that in golf, the 3-foot circle. It's a nice idea. It's simple. It makes the hole, or your goal a little bit bigger. I don't have to get it in the hole. I just have to get it in a 3-foot circle. But the 3-foot circle doesn't apply on every putt. 3 feet would be, if I got every putt within 3 feet, I would putt really well every season, and you don't always putt it to 3 feet. In fact, the top PGA Tour putting coaches will say that for their players, for the best putters in the world, a good putt, a good first putt would finish within 10% of the distance of that first putt. So if I had a 30-foot putt and I got it within 3 feet of the hole, right, that 3-foot circle, yeah, that would be considered a really good putt for an elite player, right? Like, sure, they can get it closer than that. Sometimes they make it. But inside of that, they would all say, pat on the back, good putt. Right? Now, we're not tour players, right? Not even me. So that 3-foot circle gets a little bit bigger from 30 feet for us. Certainly getting inside 3 feet would still be really good, but it's not a guarantee, and it shouldn't be the expectation, right? We aren't tour players. Conversely too, right? Like, what if you have a 50-foot putt or a 60-foot putt, right? A 60-foot putt for PGA Tour players, that's where we start to see a significant amount of 3 putts, actually. That's where those guys start to rack up more than 2 putts on average, about 25% 3 putts, sometimes in that range. And that's because, yeah, a really good putt from them from 60 feet might end up at 6 feet, 6, 7, 8 feet, right? And, even from 8 feet, tour players are only going to make 50% of those putts, right? So they start to get in a range where they're going to miss that second putt, right? Now imagine average player on a Sunday afternoon at your home course, right? If you have a 60-foot putt, don't worry about that 3-foot circle, right? It's probably more like a 10-foot circle would be good, right? And so basically once you get to certain yardages like that, certain distances like that, there's going to be 3 putts. We got to hit it closer. We got to figure out why we left it at 60 feet and not, closer than that. So anyways, let's hit a couple of these putts here together, and let's just look at some of these outcomes and how this works out, okay? Okay, so I've already paced off a putt here at 30 feet and another one at 50 feet, okay? So let's hit both of these, right? So I've done a little bit of a read. I know this one's a little right to left and a little bit uphill. Okay, so here's a 30-foot putt here, okay? I would consider putting to be the best part of my game. I'm a very elite putter, right? So if I got it within 3 feet, I'd be pretty happy. And pretty good here, right? Like I'm, just outside of a foot, maybe about 18 inches. Great putt, left it short, but hey, I'm in that really good gimme zone there, right? Okay, now we've got 50 feet down to this pin in the middle of the green here, okay? So expectations have to change, right? This is going to be a tricky 2-putt for any player, even a scratch player like myself. It's like, yeah, I'm going to 3-putt this sometimes, no matter how good my read is, no matter how good my first putt is, it just gets harder to get close to the hole, right? So, okay, so we've already read this one. I know it goes a little right to left, a little sort of a flat putt. I played a little too much break. It's a little windy, so I didn't actually play the wind on the fast greens there. And I think, yeah, I probably got 7 feet coming back, right? Didn't hate the way I hit the putt. And hey, that's a very possible outcome, right? As much as I might not like it, it's like, well, at 50 feet, no guarantee of a 2-putt. So what I would recommend everybody does to give yourself a little more enjoyment and peace of mind, right? Pace off your first putt. Okay, and generally sort of a little larger than your normal step, a normal step that you take when walking. A little bit of a bigger step than that tends to be a yard, 3 feet, okay? So pace off those putts and start to notice, right? Because once you pace it off and you go, that's 20 paces, that's 60 feet. That's a long putt, that's going to be hard to two putt, right? It's going to be almost impossible to one putt. But that just starts to give you some perspective that it's like, okay, hey, like I can cut myself some slack on this. I wish I hit it closer, but I'm here. So, you know, if a three putt happens, okay, it's not so much on me. Like I might not have been able to prevent that. I'm going to hope I hit my best putt, but you know, your proximity to the hole is going to determine your score on that hole in a lot of cases, right? It's just like if I have to hit a shot from 200 yards, it's not going to be as close to the hole as it would be from hitting from 100 yards or from 150, right? So your proximity will determine your probabilities in terms of number of putts, right? So start pacing them off and start noticing, right? Because if you're pacing during the day and you're pacing a lot of 15 a yard or 20 yard putts, right, which are 45 feet and 60 feet respectively, those are long putts. They're rarely going to go in, and in fact, they're rarely going to be a two putt for sort of the average recreational golfer. So just a little bit of perspective, and again, golf's hard, right? You got to hit it closer to the hole, and if you are hitting it a little too far away from the hole, if you're getting a lot of these long putts, that leads to other questions like, why am I putting from 60 feet and not 20 feet? Right? That starts to back up your problem solving to go, what happened on the last shot? Am I picking the right club? Am I hitting it okay? Am I hitting it heavy? Am I, you know, is my aim, like my intended target off, right? So that starts to back up the problem solving, and then we can look at other parts of the game to go, hey, you know, because players look at me and go, I get a lot of putts out there, right? And sometimes, yeah, we can improve their putting, certainly, right? There might be something in the stroke or the mechanics, but I have also played with players where I go, wow, their stroke looks really good. They don't hit it very close to the hole from 100 yards or 120 yards. So it might be some work on their wedge play, on their approach play, that might actually improve their putting stats without changing anything in their putting. So there you go, a little perspective, right? So remember, tour players, a good putt for them would be getting the putt within 10% of the distance of the initial putt. So from a 30-foot putt, they would love to get it within 3 feet. That'd be a good putt for the best players in the world. We aren't the best players in the world. Cut ourselves a little slack, okay? And if you get it inside that 3-foot circle, awesome. Anyways, there's a little daily perspective for you. Go out there, have fun on the putting green. If the putts are long, figure out what you could do to get them a little bit closer. Some of the decisions before that, you get to the green. But if they are long and you miss them, cut yourself a little slack and move on to the next hole. Anyways, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.